Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolie Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to welcome you to today's show where we speak with Lee Harris or we see Lee Harris speak. We move into Elizabeth April, and John is going to tell us more about it.
Yeah, what I love about this week's show, the messages that we're getting through here now are getting more and more narrowed down to sort of what we're exactly seeing around us now, but also what we can learn from it and what we need to how we need to think about it. It's really, you know, empowering to be able to understand the nature of what's going on and also putting new perspectives on it as well. I think that's really important. So we're going to do plenty of that. As Jolie says, we got Lee Harris and we've also got Elizabeth April and Cosmic Friends on both counts, right? So Lee Harris, who gets his information from the Z's being a collective of 88 galactic beings. And obviously Elizabeth, who's tapping into the GFL and to the Pleiadians in particular. So it's going to be, it's a really eye-opening show. So I hope you love it. And welcome to the community. A little early. Welcome to Kit and to Joy, who are both here today. Oh, and one of the first things to mention is that we've spoken about this for the last few weeks and saying in March we've become a donation-based channel. Finally, we've made it. So for those who would like to support us in what we're doing here to start to offset costs, look towards expansion for everything we're doing, you'll find in the details below now is a PayPal link to do donations. We totally understand that for those who are stretched on budget and that, it's not something that is an imperative for that. It's obviously for those who can afford it and who would like to support us. We will be exceptionally grateful. It's really, it would be great for us. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I know Joy's here already, I was having an exchange with her earlier in the week about community connection. This idea that we can create some sort of an additional community where people want to literally interact between each other. Because one of the things, and I know Joy has noticed this very much, is that when you're in a spiritual community like we are, it's all well and good, right? But a lot of the time we're putting videos out there, we're sharing, and people are adding to the comments, but it's not the same as like interacting, one to one or one to several. And I know we have our WhatsApp group, but it's not quite the same thing. So it's for those who would like to kind of join up where you could all, if it's geographically feasible, where you could even meet up in person. But to have those meetups and to have, you could even have a virtual sharing circle on Zoom or something like that with, 6, 8, 10 people or whatever. Those people who would like to have that kind of interaction, and maybe Joy will take something of to help us create that as well. So for anybody who's interested in that, again, make a note in the comments below or send me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, or as ever come through the elevatedplanet.life website to the contact page, which has the free format contact box on there, and you can send us any comments that you would care to. So one of the things we are going to do though, before we get into Lee Harris and Elizabeth April, we're going to do what we did last week, actually. I'm going to share with you a little clip, which is something that brings that gift of laughter back in again. So to start off with something light, something that kind of, and again, I think this was something that, again, we put out the Sarah Landon, the latest spiritual role was the uplifter. And they were talking about the importance of having people around you who bring that joy and laughter and, they're always happy. That kind of elevating kind of frequency. And I think this is why we need things like this. So we're going to start off with this, and then we're going to come back again, and then we'll set the theme then for Lee Harris and Elizabeth. So bear with me a second. We are going to make a quick change of screens and set that in motion.
Thank you for calling Inspector Carlisle Moses. Hello, yes, please. I wonder if you can help me. I've got a complaint.
Yes, I can try and help you.
I've got a 320 BMW
Yes,
from you guys,
yes.
and it's a piece of rubbish. It's a piece of crap.
A 320 BMW.
Yes, I had a manual car that I've driven all my life, and now they bought me an automatic from your shop, and it's a piece of crap.
Is it a 320 diesel or a 320 petrol?
It's a petrol.
The 320 petrol.
Yes, because the thing, it only drives in the daytime.
It's impossible, so I'm not laughing at you. It just doesn't sound real. It doesn't.
Don't make me out to be a stupid.
No, I'm not at all. Please excuse me. It just doesn't sound right. But yes.
I don't know.
Find out, when did you buy the vehicle, sir?
I've only had it 2 days, and it works perfectly in the daytime, but it refuses to drive at night.
A 320 petrol.
Yes, and now basically what happens is, right?
Yes.
In the daytime, I'm driving and it's fine.
Uh-huh.
I just put it in D for day mode, fine. At night time, I put it in N for night mode, won't move.
Sir, there's no way that
it won't move. I never had the problem with my manual car. I put it in D.
I really am trying to understand what you're saying.
Okay, well, let me tell you
I've
again.
never heard of a feature of a day mode and a night mode.
Yes, you know, in the gearbox, I put it in D for day mode, and then at night time,
No,
in the evening,
D is for drive.
I put it in N, and I put it in N for night mode. Car won't move. Won't move. Will not move. I'm stranded. I have to walk home. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Because this bloody car, the night mode does not work.
You've made my day.
The night mode refuses to work. Can somebody explain this to me?
M stands for neutral, just by the way. The M doesn't stand for night mode, it stands for neutral. It's an automatic BMW.
This gearbox is wonky.
Is it?
Yes, because, you know, and especially when I drive on the East Rand and somebody sees me in a 320 as a robot. You know, North Rand Road. And they see you in the 320 and this guy in this little Opel Kadett, he wants to have a dance. You know? So then what happened on yesterday, midday, so I was like, okay, Opel Kadett, it's on. So I put it into race and I hit the car behind me. I hit the car behind. Now I've got outsurance on my back.
You've got to repeat everything you say because I need to record this.
I love that. It's just, I don't know whether Joy Castleman actually gravitates towards that, because that came from South Africa. That was from a radio show in South Africa. I know that's where she came from, not that many years ago. So it was just like a radio show phoning up randomly with these kind of daft things. But I think that is just so it's so much fun. And it was nice because the lady on the other end of the phone, she was kind of really loving it as well. So very well done on that one. So yeah, Jolie, anything you want to add at this point?
Well, we're just trying to bring some whimsy and some joy into our Sunday and our days and realize not to take things so seriously, you know, especially ourselves. And let's be playful because playful is what helps us to move forward and go quantum, you know. So it's about laughter and joy. And we are grateful to be here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just saw from Joy. She just said, yeah, I heard the South African accent. She said it was very funny. But you're right, Jolie. It's the playfulness, right? It's that childlike sense of wonder. It's the playfulness. It's getting back to that inner child. And as you say, not taking ourselves or life too seriously. We're here to enjoy ourselves. We're here to have fun. And it's a bit of a contrast when you look around you, what goes on in the world. And so, well, you know, okay, there's a lot of people out there who'll be saying, well, how can you have joy when you have so much density around you? But this is kind of like where we're heading with the show, is just saying, okay, let's understand the bigger picture here.
Yeah. And let's be a part of some of the change, you know, maybe, you know, let's just believe and have hope and faith that this type of energy reverberates and it creates ripple effect, which Elizabeth April, we'll see her get into mass consciousness and the individual, even if it's just briefly. And it's a very powerful, her sentiment and what she talks about. So I'm really excited to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if you think about the vibrations that come from, the fun stuff like that, if everybody was had a dose of that every day, how much better would we be
Yeah.
rather than like focusing on the density? But you're right, Jolie. Let's get into Elizabeth and Lee really, and just let them set the scene really for where we take this next. And
Yes.
just say we're going to start with Lee Harris, and this is just a short piece from his monthly energy update, which is very valid for where we're going with this. Just a short section there from Lee, and I know many people do watch these things already, but nevertheless, it's the way it dovetails together as a message with what Elizabeth's talking about now. This was Elizabeth is reading verbatim from a discussion she had with Kinetic, her Pleiadian friend, up with the GFL. And she's reading it verbatim purely because the wording itself carries light language, right? This is what she's been told. So literally she's going to read this one out, whereas she tends to be more of an ad-lib kind of gal most of the time. This one's important. The information that comes through, I think, is so enlightening. And beyond that, we've got something to share with you, which is a follow-up to that as well, which is additive. So what do you think, Jolie? We go in there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Without further ado, we're going to go to Lee first off and then over to Elizabeth. And here we go.
The theme is houses of cards will begin to fall. So the houses of cards are anything that's built on old energy, old consciousness, old ideas, or old attempts at control. They will become more destabilized than ever in 2026 on personal and global levels. This will be true of the next 2 to 3 years especially, and growing disenchantment within the collective began in the last few months of 2025, but 2026 will see more visible evidence and examples of it. This refers to global leadership and personal relationship dynamics. Surprises and sudden improvements will happen when things have been bleak or tough. When it feels like the dark is winning, wait, things will reshift.
Hello, Kinetic. I wanted to have a direct conversation with you today in order to relay important information to humanity. I understand that by writing down your words, they can have a greater impact than just by me relaying them. My intention for this conversation is to give vital information to those who are ready for it. We are truly at a pivotal time, and I think we could all use the advice. So please, kick us off with who you are and what you represent, and then starting with a general overview of how the Galactic Federation sees humanity and our progress at this time. Kinetic. Hello, my name is Kinetic. I am a member of the Pleiadian Security Council. Our mission on this council is to ensure planet Earth and its inhabitants are protected in its universal rights. Some key areas we monitor closely relate to security, free will, duality, collective contracts, alternate timelines, and intervention. Currently, your planet is experiencing the end of a cycle. You could refer to it as a celestial cycle, or even a soul cycle. The planet and its ecosystem are transitioning densities. Because of this, all aspects of life are experiencing a change. We understand that change, especially one of this magnitude, can be difficult, but we are here to support you. Me. If external forces are not allowed to intervene or alter our free will, then how is the Galactic Federation assisting us without infringing on these laws? Kinetic. Yes, This is an important question to ask. We choose to assist humanity in many ways. As you know, members of the Galactic Federation have chosen to incarnate as humans. Throughout your history, but also especially at this given time. These are our soldiers, you could say, that have sacrificed ease for hardship in order to help usher in this new cycle as harmoniously as possible. Although we cannot infringe upon your free will, if you ask us for assistance, we are able to oblige in accordance to your soul's blueprint, without infringing on your rights. We also have numerous councils within the Federation that are specifically dedicated to Earth and its inhabitants, as well as galactic matters relating to Earth. Although humanity is not currently considered a member of the Federation, we are still able to navigate sensitive matters on your behalf as long as it is in alignment with your collective blueprint. In a sense, we are representatives of Earth's best interest as we wait for you to make a choice. Me. I have so many questions. I don't even know where to begin. I guess I do have an important question that may be hard to answer, but here it goes. If you represent and defend and are familiar with Earth's collective blueprint, but there are an infinite amount of timelines, then are the bad guys just representing an alternative timeline to play out? And then to that point, is there no better or worse timeline because duality needs to exist? I don't know if that's a clear question, but in general, can you feel into my confusion and try and help us understand this? Like, if everything exists, then does it even matter? Kinetic. Yes, of course, I will try my best. Planet Earth is a microcosm of the extremes, wars, insecurities, and choices being played out in this galaxy within the lower densities, specifically between 4th density and 8th density. Earth is being observed right now as the sum of all. Humans are being observed currently as the spectrum of all. All that exists out here is being mirrored down there. Your choices and experiences represent the ascending buildup and shift we are also currently experiencing. For the sake of comprehension, I will explain the timelines like this. Yes, all variations of choice exist. However, the majority of collective focus on your planet is centered between 2 main pathways. These pathways represent the spectrum of duality within the lower densities. Both of your choices are currently existing. One will represent the end, and the other, a new beginning. Although the choice is yours and yours alone, it impacts many outside of your ecosystem. So we are here to help and observe when we can. Others are there to hurt and observe. To your last inquiry, does it even matter? Yes. It matters because your choice in timeline affects and shifts the timeline for us. The choice itself determines the end or the beginning for you and also us. If the end were to occur, it just means Source will need to play this level again, in reference to your video game theory. So depending on your perspective, your choice either matters a lot, so we can all learn and move forward, or in retrospect, does not matter at all, because there is always an opportunity to master these universal laws once again. Guys, just when you get a second, replay that, okay? Insane. Me. Wow. The impact of that message goes beyond what my brain can comprehend, but it does feel really important. So, what about all the people who say that the light has already won? Like, what do you say about that? What you're saying right now feels like there's still a lot of choice to be made. Kinetic. Yes, a choice still has to be made. Within the future timelines, both choices have already been made. By saying the light has won, you, at an individual level, are verbalizing the choice that you are making. However, at a collective level, the choice is yet to be made. So good. Me. How will we know that choice in the light has been collectively made? Just curious. Kinetic. You will know. The time is coming. Like, thanks for nothing. All right, me. There's a lot of corruption and war happening. Part of me wants to fight it. Part of me wants to prepare for the worst. And part of me just doesn't want to participate in it at all. What do you recommend we do with all the crimes and uncertainty and suffering around us? Kinetic. Remember that what you are seeing is the end of the corruption and suffering. It needs to be seen and felt in order for humanity to choose not to consent. This is so important, guys. Listen up. These crimes have gone on behind your conscious awareness. However, by choosing not to object, you choose to accept, therefore allowing these things to occur on your planet. You want to see. You are all ready for the truth, and by observing it and rejecting it, you, not us, end it for good. Once again, this information goes far deeper than these words, but I'm hoping that you're feeling the impact. Me. Okay, wow. So we actually have to see it, be aware of it, and then not agree to it? Do you mean that we need to protest or sign a petition or just yell no? Like, how do we consciously object? I think we all want to know that answer. How do we do that, right? Kinetic. I'm glad you are asking this clarity question. Simply through observing and seeing truth of corruption on this planet, and then internally not agreeing with it, you are consciously objecting. There is not much you need to say or do in order for this process to take place, right? All right, me. What about those people who see one side? Oh, this is so good, you guys. Listen up, okay? Because this really changed my perspective on certain people that may or may not trigger me. So listen up to this one. Okay, this is so good. Me. What about those people who see one side of the corruption and blame the other side of corruption and are angry at that? I'm confused about those people, right? Because they're seeing the corruption. They're calling it out. They're not agreeing with it, but they're like just blaming a different part of society. Kinetic. This is so good. The objection is not confined to one side or another. Even those who are targeting one area is still not consenting to corruption, despite ignoring the bigger picture. Feeling anger or emotional hurt is normal. However, attaching oneself to that emotion can not only be biologically damaging, but also feeding one's focus and therefore bigger choice into that one timeline. In this case, that would be the end timeline, okay? In layman's terms, I'm just gonna mention, all right, because sometimes they kind of, I don't wanna say talk in riddles, but it's weird, right? But that's why that's why I wrote this down, okay, verbatim, because the words do matter. Kinetic is saying that people who are really angry, right, who are choosing a side right now and who are angry at the system are still witnessing corruption and not agreeing to it. So that's actually still a good thing. Even if they're only looking at one part or projecting or thinking that another part is sort of to blame, right? The general consensus here is that everyone on planet Earth is waking up to the corruption, observing it, and saying, I don't agree with this, regardless of who they're blaming, right? The downfall to blaming one side is that you're still in polarity and you're still choosing sort of a lower frequency because you're attaching yourself to the emotional negativity of that sort of victim mentality, right? But it really changed my perspective on some people who are very limited in their scope and their anger and their projection of corruption, because ultimately they're still doing some good stuff for humanity. They're still observing corruption and not consenting to it. So I don't know, that kind of helped lift my mood a little bit on some people that I have in mind. Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. Definitely changed my mind about it. Okay, me. That makes a lot of sense, thank you. So speaking of choosing timelines, I usually just say love and unity is one timeline and fear and separation is the other timeline. What can we do to ensure that we are choosing the higher timeline over the lower one? Kinetic. You need to start tuning in to the messages of your soul. Follow non-resistance from your soul, which usually involves resistance from the mind. Choose the lighter path over the denser one. This is a navigational discernment tool you all must spend time working on. Listen to the discomfort. Do not distract from it. Listen to the freedom you feel upon making a choice in a higher frequency. Eventually, you will know the difference between your choices and naturally gravitate to the choice that lights you up instead of dimming you down. I'm just going to repeat this one part because it's so important. Follow non-resistance from your soul, which usually involves resistance from the mind. Ain't that the truth? Anyway, so good. Okay, yeah, one last thing. Me, thank you for that. I know I could talk to you all day, but I guess as an end statement, what knowledge could you give us that can help shift us into a higher frequency? Like right now. Kinetic. Ready? It's time to unmask yourself and step into the truth of who you have always been. You have been hiding. You have been safe, but you have not been living. You have not been in charge of the reality around you. You are more powerful, more brave, more intelligent than you have been leading yourself to believe. It is time, our beloved ones, to rise to your full potential.
And we are back. So I just think that is such a powerful session right there. You know, it is the kind of one that you just want to listen to time and again. And we have got something to back this up right now as well. So I am going to go almost immediately into that, you know, because this is all about the purge, the choice, and the rebirth. And it all sits within what Kinetic has said there, care of Elizabeth. And I think this is important. And it's also important to understand this bigger picture that helps us get out of polarity thinking. So we know, right? Okay, I think anybody who's watching this video will already be on the track of avoiding polarity, but after decades and decades of conditioning and programming that encouraged us into polarity thinking and division and all that kind of stuff, we have to keep on track. We have to stop ourselves and then have a think again about the better thinking thought. Think all those kind of things like Abraham and through Esther Hicks was saying last week. And this thing about the light as one, right? If we say that and you say it, you have to feel it as well, right? Not just say the words, but also to have the emotions that back it up. That is you putting your vote for the light, okay, for the higher timeline. So there is really, this is the beauty of it. It's all quite simple, really. But it all depends at the frequency at which you are resonating as to which train you get onto it from that metaphorical consciousness station in 2030, whether it's going to be the higher timeline or whether it's the lower timeline, which is an extinction timeline. Okay, so an extinction timeline means you have to repeat the thing all over again, right? And that's okay, right? Because it's never a failure. It is what it's supposed to be. Anyway, so beyond that, what Elizabeth did this just a couple of days after she recorded that, is she had a GFL conference that she does once a month on the 11th of the month, which is only available through her elizabethapril.com, and it is a paid thing. And I went and as part of that community, I did go in and I had listened to it, and it was absolutely fascinating. And what I've done is I've written down some cliff notes from that, because adding to what Elizabeth has just said, it really does help to create the vision of the bigger picture that is going on around, which gives additional explanations and encourages as well away from polarity, because you realize there is a bigger picture that really is designed to help us along the way. So if this is literally breaking down into 5 minutes, something which was, I think, an hour and 12 minutes long. So for those who really want to kind of get into it, I would recommend that when you get a moment, go into elizabethapril.com and just sort of pay to download it, or to just, I don't know, whatever it is. It's not expensive. It's about $11 maybe, or thereabouts. But anyway, so what she does, that she does this month's was a free format one, which means that she's not going with a preconceived list of questions. She is asking the GFL, the Galactic Federation, what are the most important things that humanity needs to know right now? The first one that was to step up was a Syrian hybrid name of Arcadia. And what she said was non-intervention of off-world entities is now no longer allowed, whether good or bad. So basically, I know this is a non-interference planet, but there is a certain amount of allowance that is to protect us and all the rest of it, or good or bad. Okay, that is now no longer allowed, because it's up to humanity to find our own way. Free will of each human has to play out free of external influence. So things are changing. Another thing that was really interesting, solar flare activity that's been going on between 2024 and ultimately through to 2028 are here to clear karma, to help clear karma on the planet and at a personal level. So we need to release the stuff that comes to the surface to get back to neutrality. This is why many people are struggling. I see relationship breakups. You see all sorts of struggles going on. There's a reason. These are past patterns coming back because we know that we have to release them. And then then it came down to reptilian shapeshifters. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that we're seeing through the Epstein files, and that kind of comes back to those reptilian shapeshifters who are the instigators behind much of this. And the question was asked by Elizabeth about, well, what happens with these? Because, they're not humans, right? So the reptilian shapeshifters are only allowed if we to continue if we are consciously aware of what they're doing and who they are in order to consciously consent to it. So we have to get to know who they are and the fact that they exist in that format, and then we get a choice of whether to consent to it or not. The veil is being lifted, and we will become aware of everything that's been hidden in the shadows. Then we get to choose. So in the same way, humanity has to be aware of who the star seeds and the galactic volunteers are and also choose to consent to them. So it works both ways. And another message was, don't get too attached to the timing of things, because from the perspective of the galactic federations, a couple of years is nothing, because time is different at those higher dimensional levels, as we know. The importance of humanity's choice around the reptilians and the star seeds influence matters, because it dictates the directions we are heading in after that decision is made. We would need to be on the higher timeline to be able to join the Galactic Federation, or alternatively choose the end timeline. So the next person up, right, or the next being up, was Edward, who is a rhino being, right? And there's some images with this as well, actually. It's quite fascinating. And he's a keeper of ancient inner earth knowledge. And this was really interesting because it said the wars on planet Earth, the bombs, the physical impact on the planet is a replay from past battles, wars, and injuries. This is replaying to clear the Earth karma, same as what is happening at a human level with issues coming back to the surface to be addressed. And I find that really interesting because, again, the implication was this could be from many thousands of years ago, but we know that that Persian area is steeped in massive amounts of history. And, this is playing out Earth karma. Like for us with issues from past lifetimes, to be clear, I just said that bit. So the bombs of the present can neutralize the bombs of the past to clear the karma in the law of duality. Sacred site trauma represents these sites that have been taken over in the past. Portals, vortexes, stargates, transmitters, they were free energy, they were healing, they were docking for craft and spaceships. After Atlantis, many of these ancient sites were attacked, colonized, war-torn, destroyed. They were shut down. Some were simply abandoned. You could think of Machu Picchu, and deactivated for a long time. They are now being reactivated by star seeds and light workers and grid workers, called to these ancient sites remotely or physically to reactivate them. And I know that certainly happened with Drumbelow Melchizedek, and we got a lot more from on Drumbelow next week as well, and Viola Rose out in Sedona to go back to this kind of thing. Some of the ancient sites have been taken over by the dark side, and she mentioned that one of the portals out there is Las Vegas, for instance, and Hollywood and the likes. So, flipping over, what have we got next? So don't be surprised if we don't see some kind of activity which might, on these sites, which could be, again, bombing, terrorist attacks, false flag events across America or across the world. It's here to neutralize the site in order to elevate the frequency. So don't worry so much. This is a divine purpose despite the suffering. Energetically, things are being cleared in this traumatic way, which feels paradoxical, but in other ways it makes sense. So that to me was a real eye-opener, because then all of a sudden you kind of look at what's going on in Iran and everything. Okay, so there is a grand design that sits behind this, that kind of, this is helping us to move forward. And when you're kind of mindful of that, if you believe that, if you feel that, then that kind of makes things easier. Then they had then there's another one called the Navigator step forward, and he's an elemental, and he does intergalactic mapping, and he's an astrologer. And he said simply, in the next couple of years, the planetary alignments we are moving into is indicative of the time we are in right now. The stars are aligning for our best and highest good. The planets are supporting the unveiling of the truth. What you do with it is your own. So we see the corruption, we see the lies, then what we do with it is all up to us. The illusions are being stripped away, and we need to take that radical responsibility to kind of, I suppose, as we said before, it's the consent thing, or to not consent. Then the next one was Sasha, who's a reptilian, a rebel army leader who kind of fights against a lot of the lower frequency reptilians. And what she had to say is that all of the reptilian shapeshifters and the elites are getting the message: you will be exposed. The crimes against humanity and their reptilian nature are going to be exposed. A lot of CEOs, celebrities, musicians will shy away from the limelight. The shadow government, Illuminati, do not want these politicians, judges, celebrities, musicians, CEOs stepping away from their power. So what they are doing in return is that they are offering them more money, power, control, fame, so effectively doubling down on what they have at the moment. So what they have to decide is if it's worth the risk. The white hats, the collective, are the ones delivering the messages that you will be exposed. They will be ready to take over these vacated positions in the next 5 to 10 year period. Sasha says, yeah, so that's the white hats and the collective are basically their position so that when these others do step out from the limelight, then they are going to come in on behalf of the light side of humanity. Sasha says that the shape-shifting technology and how they take over the individuals is frequency-based technology. And as the frequency shifts on planet Earth, the technology will really start glitching out, which is, Elizabeth said that was a eureka moment for her, because she said, well, that's obviously why they are replacing everyone with clones these days. So she's seen a lot of evidence of that. There are still going to be reptilian shapeshifters walking around. The ones with the biggest egos will want to remain. Over the next couple of years, there are going to be pockets of people around the world where they get exposed. So you're going to hear reports, like we've heard at certain concerts and that, whether it's Lady Gaga or various other ones, where their eyes change. And all of a sudden, a bunch of people towards the front see the eyes change to a reptilian format. So where was I? Over the next couple of years, there are going to be a lot of pockets of, yeah. So basically, a lot of people start to get exposed. So you will hear the reports. There'll be concert cancellations, CEOs stepping down, and it will be for this reason. Okay. Right. Last one was Timothy, who's an Ssani on behalf of the Galactic Federation. He's half human, half grey. And he's an aspiring council advisor on human matters. So what came from him was just a message of encouragement, was keep going, we are here for you. It's a difficult time, but you can make a choice now. You don't have to wait for the rest of humanity to make the choice, so make the choice now. Switch your vibration now. Choose love and unity now. And by doing so, your entire life will shift into that higher frequency. For those who feel like they are dying, both at an emotional, identity, metaphysical, spiritual, and also physical, biological level, that is happening for a reason. You are purging out what no longer serves you, both in your body at a toxicity level and in your soul at an emotional level. You are letting it go. You are releasing it before you emerge to a higher frequency. So it's okay that you are going through this. Simply allow it to happen. Don't try to bypass it, because we have to go through the purge to get to the rebirth. And Elizabeth's final note on that was that we have to know what's happening to enable us to not consciously consent to it, but don't react to it emotionally or attach yourself to it, because then you end up feeding into it, which we know to be true. That's that piece by Alan Watts really set that out really succinctly. And as she said, it's treading the fine line, because it breaks it's absolute polar opposite to the way we've been conditioned and programmed for decades. But now we know this is the time. Now, at that point, I am going to stop talking now because I have shared everything that I got from that. And as I say, to go to the full version, go to elizabethapril.com and you can pay to view the entire thing. And it's really, really wonderful. And now, Jolie, could I bring you back in, please?
Hi, yes, I'm back. That was really good, John. Thank you so much for the breakdown. And some people will say, okay, well, I get all of that, but for me as an individual and wanting to be of service to the collective and moving us towards unspeakable beauty, what can I do? One of the things she spoke about was emotional, it's being able to control your emotions. I can't see the word. I need to put on my glasses right now, but dealing with your emotions in a way in which it's not so much you want to control them, but guide them in a way that aligns you, helps to align you, and make the choice to come in to equity with natural laws, universal laws. Come into where you're just flowing with that, right? And that's when you begin to observe. Now, we have programs that run in our mind that we can take the time to recognize, really go, okay, this is a thought that I don't want. It's a mind parasite. I'm going to get rid of it. Instead of going into the anger that she speaks about. Now, how do you protect your energy? Because as a conscious objector, right, to something like this, that's a word that she used, consciously wanting to object to what's going on. We'll use a concrete example, like the Epstein files. It's everywhere, right? But taking part of it is also a part of a narrative or a psyop that can affect the way in which you are showing up, period. Because you're thinking, oh, wow, all of this is being exposed. But to be an observer means we don't have any judgment about that. We don't put any stock into that whatsoever. So what does that look like on a daily basis? We really don't talk about it. If we do read it, we take it as information, we get rid of it, and we move about our day in a way that is positive. And so that has no place in our lives. So observing it doesn't necessarily mean you pass it by. What it means is if it is an interest to you, understand that judging, labeling, falling into that spiral is an energy harvest. It is
Yeah.
meant to have those synapses and neurotransmitters firing in a certain way that creates certain emotions within you that now someone else is driving the car. So to conscientiously object or consciously object, you can read that stuff, but in daily life, you turn away. You turn away from any of that energy coming on you, or you change the subject about somebody who's talking about that. Change it. Let the energy that is there, the white hats as they call them, or whatever, however you want to label the light, is there doing that. So, what it needs us or you to do is to stay positive and to curate your own life towards unspeakable beauty. So, external, another thing she says was removing external influence, right? What does that look like? So, in exercise, we always do in the meditation is to ground your energy. That's a portal. So, you turn whatever that is in your body or your energy field a color, you drain it out and you fill up with cold light. That is a tangible and visualizing way or creative way for you to remove that energy from your body, creating a practice that as you begin to do that, you will see a shift in your energy field. It really works. And before you know it, you are playful, you are joyful. You look at that and you go, okay, well, that's the universe working that out. So let me go over here and work it out in my life. Let me get more positive, more loving. Let me create more expansion in my life. Let me connect, come together. And I know that that's there, but guess what? I can create something new and better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do like that because, as clearly it's not a case of burying your head in the sand. Okay, this is a being prepared to see what is going on, to
Right.
to not to consent to it, to choose to not consent to it, emotionally, And
Right.
then, as you say, move on. Find something that is going to elevate your frequency. Find something that's going to bring you joy.
Right.
And yeah, it's not being dragged into that judgment battle and the negative forces around that.
Yes, because
100%.
if we look at it, sorry, John, were you going to
No, no,
say
no.
something else?
Just no. I was
I
just going
was
to
going
say
to
that's
say,
100%.
right. I hear you. And if we look at it collectively on a collective level, right, we sort of need to, in a way, or we benefit. My teacher would always tell me, we don't need and we should, all of that, take it out. You benefit by staying positive and raising the vibration of your environment. Trust me, being a leader, a spiritual leader, an emotional leader, has the ability to be the glue for your team, even in a corporate setting. Be the glue to raise the vibration and the energy in the room. And if you can contribute that, that is so powerful right then and there, because it's a jumping off point for everyone else, and it's contagious and infectious. I know that we are in a society where depression and anxiety, I was looking at this the TV the other day, and there was this pharmacological commercial that came on about some prescription. And it was like, you can have a stroke, you can have diarrhea, you can go blind, you can have a heart attack, get diabetes, all behind trying to solve depression. So what is it? If we look at it and unpack it, it is us being unable to visualize or create a future for ourselves. Oftentimes it's anger turned inwards. So being aware and giving language to some of the stuff or the things, the emotional detritus that we experience allows for us to be able to recognize where we're carrying it in our bodies and to let it go and to fill up with that love and that joy. Okay.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I love just getting the tools to take us forward from a practical perspective like that is really, really useful. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you think it's time to head towards Mr. Gregg Braden
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and guided meditation time? Thank you. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to head over to a section by Gregg Braden, who's talking about what he termed the lost mode of prayer. You may have heard him talking about this over the last few years. We know it was changed from the King James Bible. The prayers, right, were changed. The wording was changed. We didn't realize that until the Nag Hammadi texts were discovered in the 1940s, when we saw the oldest known version of the New Testament, where it told it from a truthful perspective, which is exactly what Greg is explaining here in this little piece here, which then leads us into Jole's guided meditation. So bear with me a second. We are going to go to that right now.
That is a single, very powerful statement. I'm going to break this down. Ask without hidden motive. That is inviting you to ask without attachment to the outcome. It's actually a very Buddhist concept. Be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire. The only way to be is if those things are already present. You're coming from the place that the prayer has already been answered. So the key to what we're saying here, feel the feeling. Feel as if the prayer is already answered with as many senses as you can. Smell, touch, taste, hearing. Feel as if your body is already healed. Feel as if your perfect relationship is already present. Feel as if your abundance is already present. Invoke all of those senses. The bottom line of everything I'm saying is through the fifth mode of prayer, our feeling-based prayer, we are given the ability to communicate directly with the possibilities that exist in the universal field, in this divine matrix, and to do so in a language that the matrix recognizes.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Call your astral body back. Snap it in. It is commanded. My astral body is snapped in. Feet and feet, knees and knees, hips and hips, hands and hands, shoulders and shoulders. Head and head, fitting inside of our body like the hand fits inside of a glove. Relax. as you breathe with the rhythm of your body. As you bring your awareness to the center of your chest, visualize a grounding cord of a natural earth element connected to your first chakra. It could be a tunnel of light. It could be a rope, a tree trunk, whatever it is that resonates with you. Create that. As you see this beautiful essence of Mother Earth move through her and root itself into her core. As you pull your aura in to be 1.5 feet around you and call your higher self back above you. All from a place of love and safety, knowingness. As you visualize your feet opening like the lens of a camera, calling in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. And this energy pools in the bottoms of your feet and begins to travel up the side channels of your legs. As you open your crown like the lens of a camera, and that 85% cosmic gold comes cascading down from the heavens. It's just so in love with you. The heavens just, they love you. Your guides and your masters are there reaching out for you and saying, hey, I'm here to help you connect. As that gold light then rains down on your higher self, moves into that crown, and the expansiveness of that golden light lights up all your guides and all your masters. Lean in, let go of the doubt, utilize the tools and the blessings the divine has given you. As that gold light opens up the third eye, as it trickles down into the heart, opening up that portal between the heart and the center of the head as it moves down to the hips, mixing in with that earth energy, beginning to fill you up like water fills up a cup, turning anything that no longer serves you, anything you're ready to release, a bright red color, and it goes down your grounding cord because it cannot stay in a state of high vibration, which is Mother Earth mixed with divine life force energy, is bringing you a higher frequency and a vibration of wellness and of love, of unspeakable beauty as it pulsates through your body, sprouting out of your feet, hands, and crown chakras, filling up your aura layers. The beautiful energy, that iridescent glow of Mother Earth and the divine coming together, moving you into an energy and a vibration of soul energy right there in your heart. Feel the energy of your soul. Allow it to expand and move through you. And right now, in front of your heart, I want you to please visualize a beautiful golden rose. And as you open your heart, right now, the double doors of your heart, while you are supported by divine energy and Mother Earth, you place a golden sun above your head. Fill it with unspeakable beauty, whatever that looks like and feels like. And as you open the double doors of your heart, and there's that grounding cord, any hooks, cords, vows, contracts, or agreements you may have agreed to, or your ancestors may have agreed to, are going to go into that rose outside your heart, move down that grounding cord, as that golden sun comes down and fills up those spaces and those places where this energy was. You can see those hooks unhook themselves, go into that rose in front of your heart. Those cords release, they remove themselves from your heart, from any of those chakras, and they go into that rose in front of your heart. They go down your grounding cord as that golden sun and all of that unspeakable beauty within it fills up those spaces and places where those contracts, vows, agreements, hooks, and cords were. Get into the details. Bring in this newness, this new reality, beholding to no external influence. The things you consciously object to no longer trigger you. They have been resolved and dissolved and moved you to another timeline where these issues fail to exist. Fill up with that golden sun. Feel that upgrade, that resonance as you release all of the things that you consciously object to, that no longer serve you or the conscious collective. And that golden sun is limitless. Just let it go into all those nooks and those crannies. See them go into those 50 trillion cells that make up you. That golden sun of unspeakable beauty, raising your vibration and your frequency to a place where it's just beauty, it's love, it's connection, it's consciousness. It exists right outside your eyelash. So when you open your eyes, there you are, to a playful, joyful place, to where you curate your life. So as you fill up with that golden sun, because now all of that energy has been released, I want you to sit in the energy and vision of your most highest, most loving present moment and future. See what it looks like. Feel what it feels like. Get into the heart and feel that energy of divine, unspeakable beauty just enveloping you and your entire environment. And as you pour out the love, that rose in front of your heart gets pushed away from you. Pushed away from you. 10 feet away from you, and then it blows itself up, turning into fireworks, turning into positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use as the rest of that golden sun just bursts and just comes down into your aura layer like melted chocolate, just turning you into this beautiful, golden, glowing, iridescent being, magnetizing and aligning with the laws of the universe and that vision that you are basking in. We are basking in. So as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, I want you to feel that energy and that love that you are projected out into the universe from your heart and from your third eye. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body and know that you are safe having this, being this, and maintaining this. Catch that timeline and relax into it. You are there now. So take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to close our crown and see that beautiful cosmic golden life force energy ascend back through our higher selves, up, 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 and right there where we have access to it at any time. Such magical energy. We're going to take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to close our feet chakras and allow for that energy to recede right back down beneath our soles. Always having access to her love and her compassion. Mother Earth, we're so grateful for you. Take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to just send so much more love out of our heart and into our environment. Because we have so much to give, and we just see those hearts move out into our environment and just create so much love and joy. And you can see that as a garden that just grows wild. You could see it as you running through the field of lilies, and they just are endless. And on the next inhale, you're going to breathe in so much love and so much joy from Miss Mother Earth. And as you exhale, you're going to close the double doors of your heart and your hand chakras like the lens of a camera. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Jolie.
Thank you. It was nice.
The only downside now is I want some melted chocolate.
Yes, that's right. Fill up with all of the good stuff.
No, it was beautiful. It always creates such wonderful visions. And I think that's it. That's how to get into the higher frequencies. I mean, we've been working, I know, on our conscious creation course, our
Yes,
moon alchemy course, which we will be announcing over the next couple of weeks or so to
yes,
begin that. And I know a number of people have kind of volunteered to kind of help us with that in terms of the initial stages to go through that. And it's all about becoming a conscious creator. It's all about being a deliberate creator. And so much of that is about vision. So much of it
yes,
is about emotion and but also going with the energetic flows as well. And that's what we've been learning a lot about because there is so much to know and there's so much to share. So really looking forward to that.
yes. And Mother Nature is there to support us. It's just we've been told that, all of those practices are of the boogeyman. So it's time for us to get back to those indigenous practices where we align ourselves with the circadian, our own circadian rhythms with the moon. And we can get into some of the theories about it. It's fascinating, isn't it, Sean?
Oh, it is really. Because what it makes you realize is that we've been deliberately told to swim against the tide, right?
Yes.
Energetically. And that is what has helped to keep humanity small. So when we start to get into this, this is all about going with the stream, which is, as you say, Jolie, that is a natural part of what is out there for us. Mother Nature, Gaia, Mother Earth, the
Yes.
moon. It's all there to energetically support us. And we don't know this stuff. It's really
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I just want to say again a quick thank you to the community for their thoughts, for their comments. Love having you all on the line. It's been brilliant. And I suppose we get into that wrap up mode now, Jolie, yeah?
Yes, yes. It's time
Okay.
to go.
Yes. So basically, the usual, we'll be sending the newsletter out tomorrow, which will have the edited version of this show on it, where I always add a few extra images to support what we're talking about. So please do watch out for that as well. But beyond that, uh, anybody wants to join the distribution list for the newsletter, drop me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or contact us through the elevatedplanet.life website on the contact page with the free format contact box. Also, just to reiterate again, we are now a donation-based channel. So now, if you wish to help us to keep this show on the road, then click the link which is in the details below. It'll be on the newsletter as well and other areas. And we appreciate
Yes.
anybody who is in a position to support us and who wishes to do so. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
Yes. And please always like, share, and subscribe to your friends and family or those that you think would like or resonate with what it is that we're doing, because we really appreciate the expansion. That's
Yeah,
what we're all about. Positive
absolutely.
expansion.
Absolutely. Because we know that on YouTube, this doesn't go very far because YouTube, for whatever reason, the algorithms or whatever, don't really support Elevated Planet in actually getting this out in front of people generally. Although some people just get it randomly. And I
Yeah.
tend to think that some people who've got it randomly were supposed to receive it randomly because they form part of our
Yes.
community. And
Yeah,
so,
but John, you know what? That was the past Elevated Planet. Going forward, we're going far and wide.
we are.
So that's why we're asking for that, because we're letting go of that scarcity paradigm and we're moving to a new timeline where not only are we, John talks about how the power of, what is it? The power of cubed or something
Oh,
where,
power squared. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
the
yeah.
power squared. And so that's our energy. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. And so we're just asking for some help to get there.
Yes. Yes, well, that's exactly right. And and talking about the squared power, when we did the PAM meditation this last Thursday, and we'll do another one again, we had 58 people that looked at that so
Nice.
far. So our energetic value now, 58 times 58 comes out somewhere close to 3,000, right? And when you square it, so you got to realize, we are making a difference to the quantum wave structure by
Yes.
encouraging people to join us for that Thursday to support Pam's global initiative, and it helps. So we really love you guys. We really appreciate you being here, and thanks for the comments. Thanks for Kit, to Joy, to Denise, to again
Yes.
Kit, everybody who's on this journey with us. Because I think the people who've been here at this foundational stage are here on the journey to help expand the whole thing out. They're kind of like, they're the initial part of the tribe, which
Yes.
is going to help us expand this out across the world and into that world of unspeakable beauty.
Thank you for
Thank you.
supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you again, Jolie.
You too,
And
John.
and we will see you on Thursday. Anybody who can make it, Thursday, 7 o'clock UK time, which is 7 hours difference to Pacific Coast time at the moment, and only 4 hours difference to the East Coast. But again, if you can't make that time, then just energetically join us whenever you can. It'll just be going through the recording. And that's
Yes.
it. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
We love you all, and we will see
Bye-bye.
you again in a few days. Take care.